Okay, man. I hope this time it doesn't kill my computer, because I'm gonna get annoyed if it does. Okay, let's see what I need to do. Come on. That was the reason. I see. I see. I see. I see. That was the reason that it was being kinda jank. Okay, we're just gonna let's see what I need to do. Come on. Yeah, steal that and delete that because clearly that's not a good thing. I see. I see. I see. I see. I wonder if we're gonna add music through this. Just music, like in the background. Okay, we're just gonna see what I need to do. Come on. Steal that, delete that, because clearly that's not a good thing. I can hear it now. Okay. Not bad, not bad, not bad. I'm just gonna get rid of desktop and screen. I don't think screen capture even has a sound thing. See properties for this. Yeah, it doesn't. It just does. It doesn't capture that. Okay. Is that an improvement? Not bad, not bad. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. So, as you can see, I'm kind of like, if you checked the thumbnail, you would kind of see that, you know, we have like a math-based game going on, or a math system going on. So what I'm kind of doing is just setting up a math website, kinda, inside of Roblox, kind of. You know, it's just how I thought that it might go well. But I don't know. So we're gonna try. Whether it's actually gonna go well, I have no clue. But yeah, this shouldn't be too bad, you know? I'm just like trying to get a feel of what this should be like. So here's kind of our plan. So we have lessons planned right here, 1 through 8, and it's kind of just going through these different things. You have our names for them, lesson titles, and learning objectives, and that's kind of how this is just gonna go. And so my plan for today isn't actually to get these fully set up. It's to kind of just get a feel for setting up the UI, because at the moment we kind of only have like one thing actually working, or well, we have 2 things working right now. But they're not necessarily the greatest. So we really have only basic things set up. So right now what I have set up is this top part that displays your username and your profile. So your user profile will display and your username will display when you join the game. And then our second thing is our shop menu. We have Interactive Math Pro, and then there's one other game pass I just have not added into it yet. So I have to set that up. I have not gotten scores yet, and you'll notice, like, the reason is because we don't have any lessons. You need to have lessons in order to set up a score. If I don't have lessons, then I cannot have, like, total scores and all these last performances. So they're kind of just templates. So this is just a template, and then these mini quizzes are like, if you're just trying to have like something simple, we'll have like 3 quizzes, mini quizzes, and you just play through them. They're basic. They're not going to be too easy, but they're not going to be too hard. Every quiz, it just gets harder. So the first one is kind of like elementary school. The second quiz is middle school, and then the third quiz is high school. And that's kind of how it's going to go. And that's the plan at the very least. So I'll have to see how that actually goes out, but I have no clue. And also, I'm just gonna say this: I did not script this. I used the Roblox AI assistant just because of not feeling like actually scripting. So we're just gonna be using that to help me do all this. I did make all the UI myself though, so everything else other than scripting has been done by me. And then what we need to do next, I don't know, because we're not exactly planning on getting lessons set up yet, but we could do that today. We could set up the menu for it today, like to select them. So we could do that. Obviously this isn't going to be set up today, or it's not going to get working today, but we can set up UI for like what the total score is going to look like. And then our mini quiz, we could set that up today. That shouldn't be too hard to set up. At least the first quiz shouldn't be too hard to set up. At least that's what I'm hoping. But obviously I have no clue how it's gonna go in its entirety as of now. So we'll have to figure out how that goes in the meantime. But yeah. So let me just actually first get this secondary one set up. So we need to go in our shop frame, and then this is our early pass. So we're just gonna call it that, and then we're just gonna take all of this from here, copy it, and then bring it over to this and paste it into there. And then we're just going to change our values, so it'll be, so our value here would be, instead of 799 Robux, we go for 249 Robux. And what this pass basically does is it just gives you a early access to like new lessons. So when we add new lessons, you're just gonna get the update first. Or that's at least that's the hope. I might change the pass to something else, but this is the hope for that pass. And then let me actually go into our pass so I can get the description out of it. And I'm actually going to update the descriptions for these because I don't like how it's got this all separated like that. It doesn't feel nice to me. So we're just going to do that, and then I'm going to copy this one because we do need that. Early lesson access is the name of it. Okay. And then we can just do that. We can update that. Early lesson access. We can just update that. And there you go. So that's kind of all we needed to do for that menu. It's not scripted yet. The menu isn't scripted. The only thing scripted about the menu is the opening and closing of the menu. So that's all I have set up at the moment. Obviously there's space, so I could add more to this eventually, but I'm not doing that right now as this is math focused, not making money focused. It's kind of trying to make money, but trying to be non-profit at the same time. Because if I'm trying to like monetize this game, or not monetize, like advertise, you know, advertising. If I wanted to advertise this game, I need like some sort of income from it. And So if I wanted to make some sort of income, I obviously need to, you know, sell it for some sort of like sell game passes for it. Hold up, let me edit my description. Let me edit my title for this, because this is... like, yeah, this is meant to be like a professional game. So instead of like something that you would normally find, you have actual teachings. So we have alpha lessons are currently limited, which we don't have any lessons at the moment, so that's kind of for like when we do an official release. I do have it public for all members of the community that are currently in it. So it is playable, but it does not have anything accessible. So yeah. Initial lesson modules, yeah, I do have those. Technically, it's not fully in there. This is obviously in there, except for the scoring system, as no lessons are currently made. Menu navigations, yes, there is menu navigations, and I will be setting up a community for this game, just for any like needed help or any of that kind of stuff. I'll add a Discord server link to this game just for separate access later on, just so you can like tell me what you want in the game, what you want added, all that kind of stuff. Also, new Game Pass ideas, as if you want more, then I can add more Game Passes to it, just if you want to help. It's not the craziest thing, but I don't plan on adding any at the moment. If I do add more, it's gotta be something where you cannot skip lessons. So like no pay to win stuff, it has to be generally like to improve the game based on what it's doing. So like if I were to add another Game Pass, it would have to like do what the Pro Game Pass is doing or something similar. So what the Pro Game Pass is basically doing is just giving the players more stats to go off of. So like if your parent wants to see your scores or whatever, because obviously this is game focused towards learning, academics, and all that kind of stuff. If they wanted the statistics and wanted the better statistics, then you could pay for the Pro Game Pass, and then it gives you more statistics, more options to tell the developers what should be added and what should be improved, or any bugs. So like it just gives you a head start on telling me what to do, and then all that kind of extra stuff. If you really wanted it, it's just a big improvement for the game. And then early access, obviously it just gives you early lesson access, so even if it's incomplete, then you can still have access to it. So yeah, that's how that's gonna go. I don't know how the lesson menu is gonna go exactly though. However, I'm gonna try to set that up somehow. But yeah, let's get working on the main menu actually. Also, I do need to add like special stuff to make the UI not spasm out when you join, because it's not set up to automatically resize and whatever, so that's not set up yet. So it's only centered towards this aspect ratio. So if you join it right now, it's not going to look good. It's going to look small. This background part is going to look weird. And everything is going to just be out of place. So you'll have to wait for that to be set up. And then, yeah. UI corner, that needs to be at 1. And then what I need to do, I don't know what the center of this is exactly, so I'm gonna have to figure that out in a little bit. 200, maybe it might work. Hold up, it's not. Yeah, 200 can work. 200. And then what we do is put another on top of there, and it just we're just gonna do 175 by 175, and then see how that goes. So that's kind of gonna be what it's gonna look like. And then what I'm gonna do is put another frame on top of there, and then we can do this, bring it down here. This is kind of what's gonna have your total score. That's just gonna have your total score on there. I don't think I have another. Hopefully I don't have another. Yeah, it's just labeled text label. That's good to know, because I don't want that just taking up the total scores job. I do need to hide the background so that's not messed up. And then that doesn't really need to be resized at the moment. I can leave that alone. Then I do have to resize this, and then just give it like a random number, like 235 or something. It's just it's kind of like all the scores added up, so throughout the curriculum it just adds them all together, and that's kind of how it's just gonna go. And there you go. It's really basic, but it's good enough. Kind of give that a fade. That kind of makes it look a little bit better right there. And that kind of completes the score frame at the moment. So we'll just leave it to that. And then something else we can kind of do is like finish this off. So we need to make it so you can start your mini quiz lesson if you wanted to, and then actually have each quiz question and answer. If that's maybe what I want to do. Do I want to actually do that? It might be the smart thing to do right now, instead of adding full lessons now, because adding full lessons, we're doing 8 lessons per well, not 8 lessons per grade, but 8 lessons per elementary school grade. And then once you move to the middle school grade, then we're doing 12 lessons for the middle school grade. And then obviously we're gonna do even more for high school grades. But I don't exactly have that planned yet. So I'll have to figure out what that's gonna look like exactly. But also something else I gotta figure out is, like, do I just want to make a math game, or do I also want to make multiple types of websites on Roblox? Because it depends on how this does. Because if this does well, then I might actually create, like, you know, science and whatever, or like English and stuff. You learn English from here. The goal is kind of just to make it, like, advanced websites on Roblox instead of actually in, like, a website. And this is just going to offer basically advanced learning, like what you see on those websites that actual schools use. So this is just going to have the same feel as those. It's not meant to be fun. Well, there's possibilities I'll make it fun, but it's not meant to be like an actual game. It's meant to actually help kids learn and all that kind of stuff. So if we set that up, then it's going to be pretty nice to see how that goes exactly. I'm hoping this UI doesn't start to look bad, because it's not going to be great if it does look bad. Because the whole feel of this game is meant to look professional, so I'm trying to keep it as professional as possible, and that's gonna take a lot to do. So yeah, I do need to add a U. Actually, you know what I can do is I can just do this. Let me just copy this, paste it into that, and paste it into that, and then that's just fixed right there. That makes it look nice, even better than before. And then the next thing we have to do is our mini quiz setup. So obviously this is not scripted yet. This up here has to be scripted, so it shows you what lesson of the mini quiz you're on. And then obviously I need to somehow get the actual quiz scripted once I set that up. So once I set that up, that'll be pretty nice. But I don't know what exactly it should be yet. So I think, even though I don't want to postpone that, it's just because I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. So for now, we are gonna start off by creating our next GUI, which will be our lesson menu. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna copy our background, because all of them are just gonna use the same background. I don't see a need to swap the backgrounds when it's already good enough as is. And then the next thing we have to do is we gotta get our sidebar. So we need to grab a frame and then kind of just how big is that? We're gonna do 150 by 1, and that right there looks good enough to me. And then the next thing we can do is we can just grab our UI stroke right there, and then give that the UI stroke, and then we can take this and then kind of make it purple, and then I think that'll look nice on top of there. And then out here is kind of where the scroll frames are going to be, so this is where actual lesson selection is going to be. So you can select every lesson. So it's going to be elementary school, middle school, and then high school, all lined up nicely. And then on the sidebar, it's kind of just going to be like actually selecting, like, or like we're going to have like settings on here, maybe possible settings. Obviously you got to go back to the main menu, so it'll have a main menu button to return there. And then I think that's pretty much the whole thing right there. So we need to get our scrolling, not a script. That is not what I meant to do. We gotta get our scrolling frame. And then we gotta change the property of the scrolling frame. So instead of it, scrolling like that, or I need to make it so it's scrolling a different way. It needs to be scrolling from, let's see, a different angle. We need to trying to do that. And then yeah, that should be pretty nice right there. And then we're just gonna take this and bring it all the way down here. And we can just label each one of these. So, well, we don't want, well, actually, do we want that? No, because we're probably going to get rid of the background. So we just want to duplicate this. And then bring that down again. I'm pretty sure it needs to go right there. I think that's our perfect thing. And then what we can do is we can just get rid of the background on the frames, and we'll call this one elementary frame. We can call this one middle frame. And then this one high frame. And then you have all your frames for the lessons to be at, of course. So we have all of these set up and ready to go. However, it seems that, yeah, okay. There we go. So that should be nice to look at, or pretty nice to look at for now. Obviously I'm gonna get rid of these bars because we don't want these bars being seen. They make it look bad. So obviously once I actually add like all the lessons onto them, the bars will be hidden so you can't see them. But at the moment they will be shown so that I know exactly where I am on the thing. So now what I have to kind of do is kind of like just set up what it's gonna be. Later, of course, though. Because I actually don't have a full plan on what that's gonna look like. So, I think this is as far as I'm gonna get today. Because, all this UI is completely from today. I've just been working on it today. Kinda just started making this. And, so yeah. So this is as far as I'm gonna get today, I feel. I know I didn't do much development today, but that's kind of what I'm gonna end up doing for now. That's as far as I can get. So yeah. I'll see you guys later, though. This is completely from today. I've been working on it today. And I just started making this. And so yeah. So this is as far as I'm gonna get today, I feel.